Hey everyone, my name is Zoran Sahir and I'm from Urban Asian. I have someone who requires absolutely no introduction at all, someone who is a prominent member in the film industry, Mr. Boney Kapoor. Thank you so much for joining me.
Well, it's a pleasure to speak to you. It probably would be a pleasure for the listeners or the people who view this too. I
No,
hope
it
it
is always
remains. I hope it remains a pleasure to them too.
that goes without saying. Well, we're right over here talking about your film Maidaan, releasing on the 10th of April, of course, produced by you, directed by Amit Sharma, starring Ajay Devgan and Priyamani. And the trailer looks fantastic. Of course, it is a sports film and it's a very, very inspiring film. And I'm sure that when it does come out, there will be a lot to kind of talk about and discuss. First things first, what made you sort of enticed you to kind of produce this kind of a story?
Well, people at large really love to applaud when the underdog rises. So
Correct.
this has that element and much more.
Sure.
I mean, this is a story of a coach who came from humble background, who had this passion of getting a gold for India in football. He loved the sport. He started his career as a club player in Netherlands, came back to India, Hyderabad based, picked up players from Hyderabad, finally picked up, he got the job of being an Indian coach. He picked up players from all over the country. And the first tournament that he played in Helsinki, I mean, they fared miserably because of so many obstacles. Like the Indian team didn't have shoes to play. They played barefoot. On top of it, Helsinki had bad weather. As
Right.
it's a very cold place, and then it had, the rainfall added to the woes of the players. We lost
Sure.
badly, 11-1. The Indian team lost badly. But he never gave up. The spirit was still there. He got back and made some changes, asked for the rules to be changed. The tournament in India used to be played for 70 minutes. He made it 90 minutes mandatory, as in the case of international, as played internationally. He got the
Sure.
shoes also for the players, and then went on to his job of getting players from different regions and making sure that he finally gets a team which can be world winners.
Sure.
And
Well, I think
he finally managed to get India to semi-finals in Melbourne Olympics,
right.
where India lost to France, but they played a great game. And before that, too, in Rome, India played a good game, and that's the reason the FIFA chairman had come to. I mean, he met the players and met the coach and said, "This team looks like the Brazil of Asia. Indian
Right.
football team is like the Brazil of Asia." So there were
Yeah.
so many things that we discovered, we learned, and we tried to incorporate most of it. Of course, some situations have been dramatized to create a better impact.
Sure.
But the fact is, we've been very honest with the journey of this coach. And
Right.
it's a remarkable journey, remarkable journey. It had to be
Right.
told, and we are lucky. I feel we are blessed to have hit upon this idea. I'm thankful to Akash and Joy, who are my partners in this film, and Z
Sure.
Studios, who has backed us to make this dream come true.
Right. You briefly touched upon sort of the things that an element as to what makes a film kind of successful and inspiring to an audience in a generation, which is sort of seeking that. And you also did mention about the kind of partners you've actually had as a producer. And over the years, you've obviously produced some of the biggest hits in the film industry, whether it was Mr. India, Wanted, and so many more. And I think, it speaks about the volumes of the work you do. From a producer's perspective, is it always challenging, backing a script? Do you always have a sense of kind of you don't have an assurity, but do you have a kind of an inkling, an instinct as to what
Of
may
course,
work?
you've got to follow your gut.
Right.
First, the plot, the idea has got to appeal to you, and then you've got to take a decision. Following the intuition that you have. It's basically your gut which needs to be connected with a thought, with the plot,
Correct. Correct.
and you move on.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Well, Boni ji, also, I think over the years now, I think, films have obviously advanced, and I think, the sensibilities of audience have advanced, and I think things have changed. The way we view content nowadays is changing vastly as to how it was in the early 90s, the 2000s, in the last decade, with the advent of OTT. And I'm sure you have obviously sort of seen that from a bird's eye view as a producer, as somebody who's had a tremendous amount of experience about it. What is your take on the changing face of content in Indian cinema, essentially?
Well, there is a tremendous growth. We have now world-class technicians, world-class equipment. Some of our films can be, compared to any international film. Our Indian crew technicians are being acknowledged, accepted world over. Our actors have been accepted. Today we have a Priyanka Chopra, we had Anil Kapoor, we had Irfan Khan. Earlier it was just one IS Johar doing one cameo in Lawrence of Arabia. Now there is Adev Patel, again from Indian origin, and Frida Pinto. I mean, there's so many of them. Even in the television shows in America, you have so many Indians playing part in those shows.
Yeah.
So which means India has really grown and is still growing. And besides having to make the most number of films, Indian film industry has grown rapidly, and even the regional cinema has grown. For instance, when we talk of Indian film industry, we shouldn't just stick to the Hindi film industry.
Yeah.
Today we have Tamil industry, which has some tremendous technicians, tremendous actors. Similarly in Telugu, Malayalam, the content there is so rich because they get the content from, they're very early, the content from these South Indian films. Plus you have Punjabi films also coming up with lots of fun and comedy element. Then you have Bengali films. All the regions are making some good films and good number of films. Correct. So it's a healthy competition within the Indian film industry. Correct. I mean, that's how we churn out so many films every year. I think we have about 500 to 700 films coming out. During the COVID, there was a slowdown during the COVID period, but again, I think things have picked up. And of course, the verticals also have gone. The numbers have gone up. Today we have OTT as a new vertical. I mean, there is extra revenue from there. So something new always emerges in tough times. Earlier, the audio market never had that kind of money. So that grew. That started giving money to the producers to put it into the films. Then it was the video. Initially, video was seen as a threat. Initially, even TV was seen as a threat. But finally, all these elements have only contributed to the growth of Indian cinema. Today all the actors are busy, the technicians are busy, everybody's working, studios are not available. Earlier, you could only hear of studios shutting. Today, you hear of studios coming up. In the far-flung areas of Bombay, far-flung areas of Chennai, Hyderabad, there are so many studios which have come up and so many barren lands which have been converted to studios. True. So it's a major growth where film industry is concerned in all the region in India. Hindi, Telugu, Tamil, Malayalam, Punjabi, Kannada. I mean, imagine a Kannada film does a business of 300, 400 crores. A Telugu film does a business of 1,000 crores. A Tamil film, Mani Ratnam's last two films have done fabulous business. Kamal Haasan's last film did fabulous business. Of course, you have a Vijay there, you have Ajit there, who are major draws. And the old Warhorse, Rajinikanth, I mean, his last film, Jailer, also has done tremendously well. So there is a growth and there is a kind of a good, healthy competition amongst the industries of various regions. Correct. So, and there are some industries which are coming up, like Gujarati film industry is coming up. There is Odisha film industry. So we have a lot of, and then Bhojpuri film industry, which also has grown. Yes. Correct. So, and they all are developing their own overseas market. Like Bhojpuri has got a good market in Mauritius and certain other areas. Bengali has a good market in certain areas. Malayalam has a huge market in Gulf. Tamil has a huge market in Europe and UK and US. And of course, Far East, Singapore, Malaysia, and all these places. Telugu has a huge market in US. So every industry is flourishing today. Yeah. Of course, the industries from all the regions have gone through their struggle during the COVID times. Yeah. But I mean, gradually they've got over it and maybe they will come on top of it. In fact, in the last 8-10 months, we've had some massive hits in Hindi. We had never dreamt of films doing. Today, in a period of 8 months, we've had Gadar doing a business over 500, Pathan, Jawan, Animal. I mean, these 4 films have only domestic businesses and 500 crores net, not gross, net. Yes. So this is a phenomenal growth. Correct. Well, Boney ji, wishing you all the very best for this film. Can't wait to watch it. It looks extremely exciting, and I wish you all the very best. Thank you so much for talking. Thank you. Cheers.